Armie Hammer's acting return. Frontier Crucible trailer debuts after 3-year break from Hollywood following controversy. Frontier Crucible debuts in cinemas and accessible on digital December 5th. Armie Hammer is returning to acting. Hammer, 39, stars in the trailer for his new Western movie, Frontier Crucible, which marks the actor's first movie since he returned to living Los Angeles in 2024 and began working in films again following a series of allegations of physical and sexual abuse made against him in 2021 that stalled his acting career. The Call Me By Your Name actor plays an outlaw among a gang of travelers in the Old West who hook up with a cowboy called Merrick Beckford, Miles Clausey, on a risky adventure. The group disputes with a local Apache tribe after they mistakenly kill one of the indigenous people's scouts. A urgently needed wagon full of medical supplies falls prey to an Apache attack. The only man who can take it through to its destination is Merrick Beckford, but in order to get there he'll need to enlist the support of a trio of dangerous outlaws hell-bent on survival. The movie synopsis reads, when they accidentally kill an Apache scout, all bets are off and survival is the name of the game in director Travis Mills's Western thriller. The movie also stars Ryan Masson, Thomas Jane, Mary Stickley, William H. Macy, Eddie Spears, Joshua Odjick, Zane Holtz, and Eli Brown. Its trailer released almost exactly 1 year after Hammer shared photographs of himself with the movie's screenplay, claiming he was back in the saddle as reports of his casting emerged. Hammer appears to have erased his entire Instagram page, save for uploading Frontier Crucible's trailer following its release. Hammer's career stagnated when charges of physical and sexual assault were raised against him in 2021. The Los Angeles District Attorney's Office declined to prosecute Hammer for at least one alleged sexual assault in May 2023, stating insufficient evidence to charge Mr. Hammer with a crime at that time. Since Hammer returned to living in L.A. in 2024, he launched a podcast and secured a role in the upcoming movie titled Citizen Vigilante. The movie's initial title was The Dark Knight. He also stars as an Afghanistan and Iraq combat veteran battling with PTSD in the upcoming thriller named Night Driver, as Deadline reported in July. Frontier Crucible is in theaters and accessible on digital December 5th. Armie Hammer's reemergence with Frontier Crucible represents more than a mere professional comeback. It serves as a litmus test for how Hollywood and its audiences navigate the complex intersection of morality, art, and accountability in the post-#MeToo era. His return invites a difficult but necessary conversation about what redemption looks like in a culture that both craves and condemns celebrity, often at the same time. At its core, Frontier Crucible is a creative gamble and a moral experiment. By choosing to reappear in a rugged Western rather than a glossy studio production, Hammer and his collaborators are signaling a kind of penitent restraint, a recognition that his career cannot simply resume where it left off. Instead, he must rebuild it piece by piece, through smaller, character-driven roles that emphasize artistic grit over glamour. In a way, the Western genre mirrors his current public image, weathered, morally gray, haunted by violence, yet still clinging to a code. The outlaw he plays is not a stretch. It's a metaphor for Hammer himself, exiled and trying to navigate a hostile moral frontier. This comeback is being watched closely not only by fans and detractors, but by the entertainment industry itself. Hollywood's response to controversial figures has always been inconsistent. Some careers are permanently derailed, others rehabilitated through silence, charity work, or artistic merit. Hammer's case stands out because the allegations against him were serious, salacious, and publicized in ways few modern stars have endured. His absence from major productions for 3 years functioned as both punishment and purgatory. Now, Frontier Crucible serves as his trial by fire, to see if the public has moved on, or if time alone cannot wash away stigma. There's also a deeper socio-cultural layer here. The public's reaction to Hammer's return will likely reveal how fragmented modern audiences are when it comes to separating the artist from their art. For some, the very act of his reappearance is offensive, a reminder of power imbalances, alleged abuse, and the privileges that allow certain men to resurface after scandal. For others, the lack of formal conviction and the passage of time make his return acceptable, even overdue. These opposing moral frameworks are not unique to Hammer. They define the cultural battlefield of 21st century celebrity. In the court of public opinion, redemption is no longer purely earned. It is negotiated in real time across social media platforms, think pieces, and audience wallets. Commercially, Frontier Crucible is unlikely to be a blockbuster, but that may work in its favor. The hybrid release, theatrical and digital, lowers financial risk and provides a quieter space for Hammer to prove his acting credibility without courting excessive media spectacle. Critics will almost certainly evaluate his performance within the shadow of his past, but that scrutiny might paradoxically benefit him. If he delivers a powerful, nuanced performance, the conversation may shift, if only slightly, from who he was to what he can still do. Should the film find even modest success, it could open doors to more independent collaborations, marking a gradual re-entry rather than a premature triumphal return. From a psychological standpoint, Hammer's decision to embrace darker, morally complex roles also signals self-awareness. He is not attempting to reclaim the all-American leading man persona that once defined him. Instead, he seems to be leaning into ambiguity, embracing imperfection as both a narrative and personal truth. This choice aligns with a broader Hollywood trend where fallen stars return to characters that mirror their public perception, flawed, wounded, and reflective. If done right, this can be a form of indirect confession, a cinematic way of acknowledging past chaos without explicit public apology. Still, the stakes remain high. One misstep in publicity or another controversy could undo years of cautious rebuilding. Hammer's future will depend on his ability to maintain humility, avoid sensationalism, and consistently deliver quality performances. In many ways, the industry will not decide his fate. Audiences will. Box office numbers, streaming views, and social sentiment will determine whether his name becomes viable again or remains synonymous with scandal. Ultimately, Frontier Crucible is not just about one man's attempt to return acting. It's about the entertainment industry testing the limits of forgiveness. Can a performer accused of reprehensible behavior, but not convicted, earn a second act through artistic merit alone? Can time and talent outweigh transgression? Those are the uncomfortable but essential questions Hammer's comeback raises.